Alrighty then, let's get it. So, in the previous video, we talked about the market does not know time, and we talked about the M top and the double top. Okay, so now what I want to speak on is the head and shoulders plus the inverted head and shoulders pattern. These are very popular. These are very like these patterns. They're essentially price action. I mean, they create support. They create resistance, and they're a very large price mover and volume driver in the market. This is one of my favorite. These are one of my favorite patterns to trade from. Um, Again, everything that I'm giving you is a trading strategy in itself. But I'm just giving you a multitude of different ways to attack the market and to understand how to utilize market reversal in your favor. Now, looking at this, I'm actually going to draw this out first. Okay, so looking at the head and shoulders pattern, I want you guys to understand that when you look at a human being and you see, like when you stare at them, they have two shoulders and a head, right? And their shoulders are pretty much even level with their other shoulder, and then the head usually sticks above the shoulders, right? So in trading format, what that looks like is the market essentially does, some kind of movement, and then it comes up and then it creates that peak, right? So if you go back to the support and resistance section, it creates that peak, and then it has that money move over there to the left, and then it has a money move down like this, okay? So when you see this, you know that this is a money move that gets created. And then what happens, you can see the low, the money move, the high, and then the pullback right there, right? But then let's utilize this in a way where there's other market reversal strategies in the market, okay? So when these things come up, I just want you guys to be well diverse in trading, so understanding what these are. Now, when the market comes up like this is going and creating a money move, but like a higher high, right? And then it comes down. Now, let's say that it doesn't reverse right here where we would normally see it on patterns. Let's say it comes down like this, okay? And it stops at this level. And then all of a sudden it comes up again and it stops right here. And then it starts to level off right here and then go down. Well, that is what a head and shoulders pattern looks like. You have your shoulder right here, you have the head right there, and then you have the shoulder right there. And when you look at that, and you see the head and shoulders plus inverted head and shoulders, the inverted version of this is the exact opposite. So what happens is the market comes down, there gets that valley that gets created, it comes up, it pushes down. Now that's your typical downtrend, right? That's your high all the way at the very top where I started it, then your low, or your money move gets created, then your low, then your pullback, then your lower high, and then your lower low, right? And then the market comes back and it's supposed to come down. Damn, hold on. I did not like how that looked. Sometimes my finger hits my trackpad. And it comes up like this. And, maybe we'd look at a trend switch or something like that. And then the market comes right here and see how it stops right there. This is your inverted head and shoulders. So that's your head and shoulders. That's your inverted pattern, right? So this is your shoulder here. This is the head here. And this is the other shoulder here. How do we trade that though? So what's important and what I'm going to show you in this video is how you actually trade this, because that's essentially where we're getting to in everything, is how do we actually trade this. So the first setup I'm going to show you is going to be this, right? I'm going to show you how to do this. And remember guys, what I'm teaching you, you can use on any time frame. You can use it on the minute chart, you can use it on the 4-hour chart, the 15-minute, the monthly, it doesn't matter. Like everything that I'm showing you, this does not matter. So coming over to the market and looking at the market in this sense, okay. So we have this is the excitable move and that's the excitable move. So let's just say, you know, this is the markup that we have right here, basically. Let me see that. And that's what we're looking to trade, okay? So when you look at the market, you're letting the market do its thing. And the market is moving and it's creating that high up there, as you can see. And then if you're following this and using the different tools and stuff you have, you can use the, you know, the market from all the way over there. You can use it from there. You can even use it from these right here. You know, that it's essentially the same thing. It meets at the same place. You know, they all matter right there. So when you look at this at this level, I'm just showing you different things that you can draw as you're going through this, but I want you to pay attention to what's happening right now. So seeing this is great that you see this, but just let's watch. Okay. So the market's coming up here and it's stopping at this level right here, as you see, and see how the market's pushing up right there. And you can see like there's a high there. And if you notice from looking at the previous section, that's an M top right there, right? You guys can see that, which is partially why I use this example. This is actually a trade. I didn't make any kind of good money off of this because I didn't have this kind of money at the time of 2019. But this was a pattern that I actually clearly remember trading and wanted to use this as an example for teaching you guys this. So this is that M top right there, right? Now, I want you to pay attention to this right here because this is a key factor right there. That point is a very key factor right there. This right here as well. But I'm going to outline this for now. All right. So as the market's moving, we want to see what the market does. Now, if this market reverses, see that right there, how it tapped at that level right there? That is extremely important because now what we have is we have a presiding pattern. And remember, the market goes off of volume, right? So what is actually happening right now is basically the market is telling us in this level right about here. This is a very critical zone of reversal. Now, what this is now, this is not like, so this isn't necessarily you can look at this, but I want you guys to stay focused on the head and shoulders pattern that's actually happening right now. This is the shoulder. That's the excitable move that creates the head. Now, in trading, in actually trading a head and shoulders pattern, how you actually trade it properly is once it's established the shoulder on the left and the head towards the center, what you're going to do is once it reaches this resistance zone, it's a support and resistance zone that gets created. So we have a resistance here as support here. What's happening is since price is now pushed under it, it's going to come back over here. And what we're looking to do is take trades based off of the second shoulder forming. Because what we expect to happen if the market gets there is we expect the market to come up, push down, push up, push down, get back to where the previous zone of resistance is at, and do that, and then do that right there. So what we're wanting to catch, guys, is so as price does this, we're wanting to catch this right here. That is your trade that you're wanting to catch right there. So when we're in the market, remember, all we're doing is trading market reversal. So when price reaches that zone right there, you want to take your trade the moment it reaches inside of that box. That's what you're looking to do. And again, I have not went over stop losses and different things like that because I have an entire section that I'm going to go over those things with inside of my academy, because I just want you guys to focus on market reversal and patterns and strategies and reversals. That's it. So when price reaches this box, no matter what this candlestick looks like, I do not care. Like, see, this is a big daily candle. I don't care if that thing was all the way right here, green candle. It does not matter. All you're looking to do is whenever it reaches this zone, is once it reaches the zone, you're looking to trust your market structure, and you're looking to trust your market setup that you've drawn, because the key is to start trusting yourself in trading. And once it reaches that level, you just take the trade. So no matter how long it sits in there, you're going to look to keep the trade in there. So that is your sell right there. Even if price comes back up to this level again right here, guys, you sell it again. See how price wicked that? See how it hit that line right there? You sell it again. See how price is right there? You sell it again. You're literally just taking entries, and your goal is to, once it reaches there, you are looking for price to reject off of that zone. Now see, it doesn't do it immediately, but as you see, it hit it there, it hit it there, it hit it there. Remember, it's collecting orders, okay? And that is your trade. That is your head and shoulders pattern that happens right there. This is exactly how that looks. Do you see how price, how it looks in this level when, so it came all the way here, it came here, see how it pushed up here, came here, it came up here, and see how price went back down? That's your head and shoulders pattern right there. That's exactly how that looks in the market. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what if it comes back up in that zone again? Can I use 3-touch rule? Can I use it? No, we're not using that. That's a different strategy for something different, okay? So this is specifically geared towards head and shoulders patterns. So if you're going to be like a head and shoulders trader, then you're not going to sit here and use 3-touch rule off of this one right here, for instance. You're just trading the head and shoulders pattern because that is where the money is telling you it's at. It's not at a 3-touch rule. It's at a head and shoulders because it's trading in a head and shoulders pattern, right? If it was doing like here, 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 then guess what? That's a 1-2 touch. Then comes here, that's 3. That's your trade, right? But it's not doing that. It's going here, 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 here. See that? So you're going to trade that head and shoulders pattern right there. It looks like a little crown. And that's what you're going to take. So you have to read the dialect of the market at the exact moment that it's doing it. That's your trade setup right there. So now let's go to another one. We're going to invert this because I was on Euro Odd. Now I'm going to go to Odd USD. All right. So I'm going to go to Odd USD, and I'm going to teach on one that I remember trading earlier this year on Odd USD. And this is going to be a couple examples that the examples are actually pretty much back to back that happen on this. So what's going to be important is that you guys see this. Now, looking at this example right here, could you see that this is essentially a head and shoulders pattern? From looking at this, you see how the market comes up here? See that? And remember, I always tell you, the easier it looks on your eyes, what? You know exactly what I'm saying there. The easier it is to trade. That's a head and shoulders pattern right there, right? So the key is in all this, and there's a reason why I put support and resistance first, because you have to understand the peaks and the valleys in the market. You have to understand the price points. This is a very critical price point because market structure pushes up. That's critical too because market structure pushes up. This one is extremely critical right here because market is here and it pushes down. Okay? You have to pay attention to these things in the market because they're telling you a story. Okay? So if price breaks this support right here and it pushes down, we have to pay attention to that. So see how price is pushing down? So that's your high, low, lower high, lower low. See that? That's essentially what that is. So in a trending market, this is your high, that's your lower high, and then this is your lower low. So if you're doing like, oh, I'm going to do a downtrend, then that's your line right there. That's what you're putting there. And if this thing rejects off of here, then you're going to put a line there, and that's going to be your support, and this is your resistance. But what happens if that doesn't happen? Okay, so watch price, and let's see what it does here. Let's see if price rejects this level and pushes near this area or zone up there. And if it does, you have to be able to see these things and understand, okay, what's going on right here. Now this, let's push down. Start to look at this now more in depth. Here's my downtrend right there. Okay. Here's my price right here. All right. This line right here is representing the shoulder here, the head here. Okay. That's what this is representing. Now, what is extremely critical is inside of this zone right here. This is what you're looking for, somewhere about right in here. This is what you're looking for the next, for price to come over to. You're looking for price to come over to there. This is what you're wanting to see happen. So if price comes over to that line right there, what you're going to do is buy once it reaches that box. So when it just hit that box, well, kind of got kind of close. Let me draw this a little better over here. I need to make sure I put it at the proper point of reversal. This is where you're going to start to take orders. I just didn't have this drawn good over here. This is where you're going to start taking, the market is going to start taking in orders right here. That right there is going to be your zone in that level right there. So if that thing comes back down and taps it again, that's your trade right there. If it goes in there, see how price spiked up right there in that direction? That's what you're looking for to happen in that. This right here is what you're looking for in the trade. Even though price didn't rapidly fly up or anything like that, that is what you're looking for to happen in the market. Is whenever price reaches this zone right here. This is the 4-hour chart too, by the way. The other one I showed you was a daily chart. This isn't a massive amount of pips in instance for this thing to move, but this is a inverted head and shoulders right here. That's what this is right here. Okay, dude, I want to get this thing drawn right here, here, here. You're looking for price to go up like that. Now, it may not go all the way up to here. That, I mean, that's cool if it does. It may not go all the way up to that zone, but that is your trade. That is your setup of the trade right there. That is exactly how it looks in that zone. That's exactly how I would take that trade every single time off of that. That's an inverted head and shoulders pattern that happens right there. That is your zone until the zone is broken. Now, for me, I wouldn't take a trade off of that level. If it goes up, it does. I personally don't remember what it does here, but I know that is my zone that I'm looking for right here. And if price comes back down there, this pattern is now done. Like that's now no longer the pattern that you're trading on anymore. It has a different set of buyers in it. It has a different set of sellers in it. They're not doing the same trades anymore. So you have to see how that looks right there? When you zoom it out here, 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 sits and goes up. See how it's pretty much directly over at this point right here? See how it's extremely close to that level? You can see there's the zone there, there's the zone there. Because in real market time, you don't know what happens over here. Like you literally have not a single idea of what happens after this point. But since price shot up right there, I'm not taking that trade again because what I'm doing is I'm trading that moment it reaches that zone, I'm trading that inverted head and shoulders. That is my zone right there. If price doesn't decide to go up right here at this point and it goes down, it goes down. But that's essentially what I'm looking for. This even looks close to an inverted head and shoulders right here whenever I look at this. Price comes down, price comes up, price comes down, makes that little head right there. It's sitting on this level right here. This could be an example of price going up because the shoulder can last for a really long time. This is a consolidation of price right here. Price is either going to shoot down or price is going to shoot up right here because it's building on a level right here. So if you look at this and you see this is even a head and shoulders right here. Here comes all the way over here. It sits. See how it sits, then makes the decision to go up. Do you see how that's a shoulder, head, shoulder? That's an inverted head and shoulder right there. That was actually cool that while we were talking about this one comes up over here. Because like in my eyes, I can see that. Like that's something that I'm looking for. So if you think when I'm looking at the market, I have like all these different like weapons in a sense that are like in my brain and I can kind of pick and choose whenever I want to use them. But I pick and choose according to what the market tells me I can pick and choose on. So when I look at that example, whenever you don't have that drawn there, when I'm looking at this right here, remember, I don't see any of this over here. So all I see is the market coming down, pushing up, coming down, pushing up, coming down. Oh, there is a place of money here. There's a place of money here. There's a place of money here. If price comes back up inside of the zone of money. Where's the zone of money at? Right here. This is the zone of money. So if price comes back up to the zone of money, I want to look to take trades off the zone of money right here. That's also why price hesitated right here a little bit, because this is a zone of money. But I'm only looking to trade an inverted head and shoulders pattern. So I'm only looking to trade when price comes up here, when price goes down here. I'm only looking for price to come back and tap this zone right here, and I'm looking for a push up right there. That's it. So same thing here. When price comes down like this, I'm looking for price to come up and push down. And then when price comes back up again, I'm like, okay, well, if it comes up, I'm just looking for it to come down to here. And this is where I'm taking my trade. Right in here is where I'm taking my trade. So, and if I get that push up, then that's all I'm seeing. I'm not just looking for it to come right here, guys. Like I'm not always just looking for it to come, just right at that level. I'm usually looking for it to exceed that point. Okay? Because sometimes it can just make a little support and resistance right in here. I'm usually looking for it to exceed it. See how it comes and goes right there? And see how on this one, it's like right in here, pretty close to here, but see how it exceeds it there? See how it goes higher? Like this is the eclipse of the high right there. But see how it goes higher? That's essentially what I'm looking for to happen. So when it goes like this, do you see how it goes much higher? See how it goes near where it started over here? It doesn't always, I don't want you to think it always has to go where it started over here. But as it goes here, pulls back, comes up, this is your money zone right here for that inverted head and shoulders pattern. That's your money zone. Just like on your head and shoulders pattern, your money zone is once it comes here, 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 here. Your money zone is right there. That's your money zone. So if price comes up here, you're looking to take entries right here, because this is where the market is telling you that it is going to take entries. And that's your zone right there. So when you see these things, this is how this really works. When you're looking at the market, when you're paying attention to this, what you really are wanting to see is when price gets into this money zone right here, where it makes almost a perfect alignment with the previous support on an inverted head and shoulders like this, a really previous alignment with the previous support. When it makes that alignment, you're looking to take your orders right here. And what's going to happen is, once I show you guys about stop losses and stop loss management and trade management, you're going to see how to manage your trade if it goes against you on what you do. And we're not there yet. That's the thing that you guys have to understand, is we're just not there. So seeing this is an inverted pattern right here, guys. That's what this is. We go and look at the difference in this, in how it looks on the head and shoulders pattern. Again, let's see, daily chart, auto, head and shoulders. Yeah, I got my little guy right there. Let's pull this. See your money zone? See your head and shoulders pattern there? See how this is the money zone right here? This is the daily chart, so it's gonna take a little bit more time to build up. But see how this is your money zone there? And then if you really like the support and resistance, and you love doing that, and you like the 3-touch run, all that, look at this. See this peak right here and drop? See that little peak right there and drop? Look at this. Look at that right there. Now look at price right here, and you like to do this. I do this all the time, just to be honest with you. This is how I usually trade when I do different patterns and things. I blend stuff, guys. So when I look at stuff, I'm seeing the market in a way where I'm like, okay, all these different things are coming into play for me, and I have an opportunity to make money on many different levels, in many different forms. So I'm looking to see the market get to certain levels and get to certain points, and I'm taking trades off of multiple confirmations. That's what we call them. So when you see that right there and you look at this, that's that head and shoulders pattern still that we had off of the daily. But if you look at the 4-hour chart, look what the 4-hour chart's telling us. The market's getting here, it's dropping. The market's getting here, it's dropping. See how it got right there and dropped still? See how it's there? And this is like the peak point. This is like the really solid resistance zone of that head and shoulders pattern. And that's where you're looking to take your trade at, is right there. So those are very, very important that you're able to identify those things and see those things right there, okay? That Euro odd and that odd USD are two examples that I've traded. Well, the first one on odd USD was, and this was one that I traded back in 2019 because it's so obvious. You notice why I went back to this example, because this was a really good trade. This was a really good trade off of an M top right here. It's like textbook. And this one right here was pretty awesome because when I was trading this pair, I was actually trading this off the smaller time frames. So I had these trend lines drawn because I was using dual trend lines back then. And when it was in this level right here, I was eating off of this. This was awesome because I was trading off of the hourly time frame. So I build my trades up off of the monthly, weekly, daily, but I go to the smaller time frames to take entries because I'm not looking to hold my trades forever in trading because I like to essentially day trade. And a lot of times I close my trades out usually within 7 to 10 days if I'm swing trading. Because for the most part, there's going to be a lot of new buyers or sellers that get in after that point in time. But this is like textbook trading right here. That head and shoulders right there is like super textbook, literally right in there. So that is the head and shoulders and inverted head and shoulders pattern. We're going to move on to the next section in the pattern section. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I love doing this because it's just so much money in the market, like so much money in the market. And when you really have this stuff down, it's like, it's so cool because there's so many ways to make money inside of this market. It just takes a little bit of time. All this is a different language, guys. That's it. So we're going to move on to the next video, and I will see you guys there.